Hello, everyone. Jersey Joe and Big Shot Rob back in action, continuing our list of the breaking down all the top 10 positions in Major League Baseball. We just hit pretty heavily the right fielders. There's so many of them. So now we're gonna finish it off with left field and center field. Rob, center field, I don't know if you've heard of a guy named Mike Trout. He's pretty good.
Amazing, Joe. This kid, as you said in the last segment, if Cabrera didn't have the last couple seasons he's had, 3 straight MVPs for Mike Trout. Sorry, best hitter overall. I mean, one thing I want to talk about, though, Joe, is if he wants to continue doing what he's doing, he's going to try to stop killing like he's going to kill the baseball, because last year numbers really dropped. You know, we look back, 2013, 323 batting average, 2014, 287. He had a high strikeout ratio last year. He had 184 strikeouts. I mean, we're still getting the production, 36 home runs, 111 RBIs. One thing I really didn't like was the drop in stolen bases to 16 last year. And I think if he kind of switches his game back to where he's not trying to kill the ball, he'll continue having an amazing career.
He is. I mean, look, he's the Swiss Army knife. He really can do everything on the baseball field, puts up stats unlike anybody. He is the young face of Major League Baseball. He's going to continue to emerge as the face. It's exactly what the game needs. And look, I don't know if there's an offensive player right now in the MLB who I'm more tuned into than Mike Trout. After, though, I mean, look, you got Andrew McCutchen right after him. And I think here's the interesting thing about this list. I think all the other ones, really, there's very much a fight for a significant margin. I think after Mike Trout and McCutchen, I mean, I'll read you the list. Carlos Gomez, Adam Jones, Ellsbury, Lorenzo Cain, Ozuna, Billy Hamilton, Will Myers, and Juan Lagares. I got to be honest, I don't think any of those guys are anywhere even in the same breath as McCutchen and Mike Trout. That is a significant drop-off. Rob, am I right?
Yeah, most definitely is, Joe. Carlos Gomez, I'm sorry. You know what? Going into fantasy baseball, he's ranked like number 6, Joey. In my eyes, not even close.
No, that's nuts.
He only gets it because, you know what? He did have 23 homers and 73 RBIs. He's only getting it because of his stolen bases last year. I'm sorry, for outfield right now, Adam Jones is better than him, Joe.
No
He's
question.
a guy who's putting up 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs. Jacoby Ellsbury, Jacoby Ellsbury healthy, yeah, you'll see that he's better than Carlos Gomez. But nowhere is he ranked number 6 in baseball. I have no idea where these people were thinking this year that he's ranked so high. I think it was just a lucky year last year, personally. Yes, they're going to be like, oh, he's going into his prime, but lucky year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. I just think there's nothing that gets me excited about him. Like Adam Jones, I like Adam Jones a lot. Adam Jones is a really good baseball player. Carlos Gomez, I don't know. I need to see it again. But for me, I mean, even Ellsbury, we still haven't seen that season, that go-to definitive season from Ellsbury since, 2011 now?
Yeah, with the Red Sox, where he was fantastic.
Yeah.
So remember when stealing bases, hitting home runs, driving in runs, scoring, and now it's like, what is Jacoby Ellsbury now? Is he part of now the dark age of the Bronx? Because is he now an old man of the Bronx? That's how it is now in the Bronx. Everybody's 30 years old and is really old getting their AARP card, but it's bad.
They're at the front of the line for those AARP cards, but it's amazing how much of a drop-off there is. I mean, McCutchen and Trout are 2 of the best players in the league, no doubts about it, but I mean, there is a significant drop-off. And then out of these, again, you go with the left field, and again, not a ton. I mean, look, Michael Brantley, they have at number 1, then Alex Gordon, then Justin Upton, then Hanley Ramirez, because Hanley Ramirez is going to be changing his position, which is good because he was about as bad as you could be in the infield last year. Then you have Matt Holliday, Christian Yelich, Starling Marte, Yoenis Cespedes, Jason Worth, and Brett Gardner. Rob, I gotta be honest, if I had to write my list right now, I think I'm putting Justin Upton at the top of it. I don't know if I'd put Michael Brantley.
Oh, I would definitely put Justin Upton, Joe. The thing is, how is he going to play well in San Diego? Because, you
think the expectations will be different at Petco?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Because, Joe, you know how that outfield is.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to hit home runs there. I mean, he's had experience, though, because he's played with Arizona, so he knows what he got into. But on this list, Joe, Starling Marte, really? He should be number 10 on this list with how bad of a year he had. Everybody last year, oh, Rob, you got to draft him. My uncle and my father, you got to draft him. Probably one of the worst draft picks ever that I ever got.
I think Hanley's an interesting one because Hanley, if Look, Hanley's major problem the last couple seasons has been staying healthy. But I mean, if Hanley doesn't have to worry about the infield responsibilities, you know the numbers he's going to put up.
Yeah, he's not killing himself now. So we might see Hanley Ramirez return to maybe that 300 batter. We might see him put up 25 homers, 80 RBIs. And you know what? I might boost Hanley Ramirez up to maybe 2 or 3 on this list.
I think that's fair. And the one that I think is maybe a little under, I like Brett Gardner at 10, but I still feel like even at 10, it doesn't do him total justice because the thing I really like Gardner's not a power guy, but Gardner's a very consistent. He does the little things that you can't really put into a list like this, from his defensive abilities and the speed he has on the base paths and his situational awareness. Stuff like that I don't think you can put into account into a list like this, but those are the things Brett Gardner does that a lot of people don't do well.
Yeah, Joe, 31 years old, his defensive skills are still there, hits the ball, gets on base. I mean, he should be a little bit higher. He should be maybe at number 7. What do you think about Cespedes, though? I mean, yes, he's at number 8, but Joe, I'll put it this way. He gets about 30 home runs a year, put up maybe 90 RBIs. I mean, the reason why he's probably ranked 8th is, I would say, his batting average. He's not a consistent average batter. He's probably around maybe 250, 260. I mean, he still has a gun. We saw last year what he did in the outfield, throwing people out from deep in the outfield to home plate. I mean, he's a guy you really have to watch out for.
You do. I mean, look, the guy just got so much power. I gotta be honest. I think I put him right behind Matt Holliday. I think I put him above Yelich and Marte. I don't really know what those guys have that he doesn't have, or that I wouldn't want more. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. And look at it now. I mean, look what he did in Oakland. He put up amazing stats. Put him in Detroit. Now he has a full line.
A little different, yeah.
So you know what? Maybe he breaks that 100 to 110 RBI mark this season, because you know what? He actually has people he's going to be knocking in. And I mean, last year when Oakland traded him, we saw how important he is to lineups. Once he was traded for Oakland, Oakland went from the best record in baseball to a team that qualified for the wild card game, ended up losing that wild card game, and then where are they now? All the way back at square one. And you know what? It shows you just how important Cespedes is.
He is. Look, that changed the dynamic of the Athletics last year. When he left, they were not the same baseball team. They staggered into the playoffs, and they lost that one-game play against the Royals. That absolutely changed everything for them. And it just shows you, I mean, look, when you do like the win above replacement and stuff like that, I know hitter in baseball only does so much, but when you have sometimes there's that player, and it's not just what they are able to do, kind of the mentality that it gives you in that lineup is a factor as well. And I think we very well saw that the threat he posed in that Athletics lineup, what it did for them, and how much of a difference maker it was when he was gone. It changes everything, and I like him a lot. The only one where a lot of people always hate on is Jason Worth. Rob, what's the take on Jason Worth?
All right, Jason's a pretty decent player. We saw a couple years back. I believe he was batting, was it leadoff or the number 2 spot, I believe?
I think he was the 2 spot.
He did a decent job at that, Joe, but has nowhere lived up to that contract that the Nationals gave him. Now we understand why the Phillies let him walk. The guy, I'm sorry, numbers just went from milestone to shh. And it was like, wow. I mean, Jason Worth, don't get me wrong, still has a great arm in the outfield, knows how to play his position great, but hitting-wise, no.
I'm with you. I mean, just, look, I like Jason Worth. I think he's a good baseball player, but a $100 million contract is not worth a Jason Worth. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he can ever live up to that type of deal. I liked him with the Phillies, did a lot of good things. I think a lot of, like, the first thing you heard about was when they gave him that contract, how many GMs were scratching their heads. I think a lot of us are still scratching our heads, but look, the Nationals are the ones who are going to have the last laugh, because right now it looks like everyone's picking them as the odds-on favorite to win it all. I don't know if they will. You never know what's going to happen in baseball, but it should be a lot of fun. That, though, is wrapping up. We broke down a little bit of everything as ESPN continues to unveil the rest of the positions. Of course, we will be front and center breaking them down for you. But for Jersey Joe and Big Shot Rob, signing off.